Hi, okay, welcome to session 15. We are at the end of our course. This is our last session with New Learning. After this, it's our recap and you're done. So really, really well done. We have a selection of questions there for you. So I'd like you to pause and hit play when you're ready. Okay, so there's the answers. Normal thing, hit pause, mark. I have highlighted this percentage question just in case you're not making sense of the workings out here. I'm just going to talk you through those. But if you do your marking first and then hit play, we can look at that one. Okay, so I mean, one of the things to note is the very fact that you've got a pie chart question and percentages is being asked about it. I think it's really, really important to be prepared for things like this. You know, you're working in one topic and another topic has cropped up. You know, I could have brought probability very easily into this as well by just saying, what's the probability that a student chose C rather than a percentage or whatever it might be, okay? So let's just take a quick look at where 11.7% came from. I've got my connecting pair here. The 240 people were asked in total with the total 360 degrees. They're talking about the percentage that chose A, which is 42 degrees worth of the pie chart. So I do this piece of working out to find out the total number of people, which is 28. So there are 28 people in section A. Now, those people as a percentage of the total is here. 28 people out of a total of 240. That's the fraction of people. As a percentage, I would need to times it through by 100, and that's where this comes from. All right, so hopefully that has made sense, but it is definitely something we need to be just aware of and not put us off, not go, no, this isn't what I'm learning pie charts. Percentages can come and crop up all over the place, and this is a really good example. So frequency tree diagrams. Now, I'm not actually going to talk you through this. The reason that I'm not going to talk you through it, even if there's a chance you've never seen this before, is because it's very intuitive. And actually, I find that most students can work out what they need to do. They just get a feel for it almost as soon as they see it. So I want you to have a chance to see if that is you. So hit pause. I'm going to go through it properly and hit play when you're ready to see that. All right. Okay, so let's read through. A gym has 160 members. So that goes at the beginning. That's my total, 160. 78 are male. So I'm going to pop that in straight away. That now tells me that I've got enough information to work out my female. I'm not going to do it straight away. You could. You don't have to complete the diagram in the exact same way I do. You might have stopped at this point and decided to work out the females, but I'm just going to read through all my information and populate as many of those circles as I can. So it says there are 160 members, 78 are male. I've done that bit. 54 of the 96 members that like the gym are male. So 54 males like the gym. So that's going up there. And actually, that's all I've got. But it is enough to complete the frequency tree. Okay. And we'll see how that works in a moment. So let's first of all fill this missing one in here. So 160 take away 78 will leave me 82, which is the number of females. I can work this one out really easily because, again, I know there's a total of 78 males, 54 of them are going to the gym. That means the rest of them are going to the class. So 78 take away 54 is going to give me 24. And now I'm just down to those last two circles, which to start off with feels impossible. It feels like you don't have enough information. So what you do is you go back and you reread, because it's got to be there. Everything I need is going to be in the question. All right. The diagram, however, is not hinting to my next step. So I need to go back and check that. So a gym has 160 members, 78 are male. 54 of the 96 members that like, okay, that's where it is. 96 like the gym. 54 are male, and I've got that in my diagram, which means the rest of them have to be female. So I just do my takeaway. 96 take away 54 is 42. Oops, pen didn't want to work then. So 42 are going to the gym. I know that 82 take away 42 is going to give me the number that went to the class. That's a nice easy one, 40. Okay, and you'll have this sort of working out all over your exam page as well. You know, the takeaways that you have to do in order to find the missing numbers should really be shown. And also, if you're doing everything in your head, you're risking an error. Whereas if you're writing it down, you're able to see better what's going on. So that's the frequency tree. They are very, very commonly linked to probability. So I've done the same. You had to work out the probability. A female member prefers classes. So you look for your females, you look for your classes. There are 40 there. So it's 40 out of the total 160. And remember, probability doesn't need to be cancelled. So I can just literally leave it there. So if you got that frequency tree and the probability question right, then you've already got the skills for frequency trees. I am going on, I'm going to do another couple. So please feel free to join in with that and make absolutely certain that you are happy. So here's your next question. Again, I'd like you please to just hit that pause button and press play when you are ready. Okay, so 210 year 8 pupils had maths homework, so that's 210. 124 are boys, so I can put that straight in. 120 of them are boys. 38 of the students did not complete their homework. Okay, so 38 did not. So there's going to be a number in there and a number in there. Oops, running out of space. They've got to add up to 38. Now, I quite like doing that sort of thing. I've taken that information, and whilst I couldn't put anything in a circle, I could put something near the diagram that was going to help me remember that fact. So 38 of the students did not complete the homework. 16 of the girls did not complete their homework. Perfect. So 16 of the girls didn't. So I can pop that in there. Now I can see, because I've put that piece of information right by it, that 38 take away 16 is the number I need for the boys that didn't do it. And that would be 22. 22 plus 16 is 38. And now I've got to work my way round, because I've taken all the information from the story. So there's nothing else to go into the diagram. I'm going to start doing the missing ones. So this one here is going to be 210, take away 124. That is 86. This one here is 124, take away 22, which is 102. And last but not least, I have to do my 86, take away my 16, which is 70. So there is my completed frequency tree. Now, work out the probability of a male student completing their homework. So a male student completing their homework, so they're in the did circle, that's going to be 102 out of a total of 210 pupils. Okay. Next one. Hit pause and press play when you're ready. So 36 people were asked if they preferred coffee or tea. 12 of the 21 men, so they've told me there are 21 men, and 12 of them chose coffee. So I can fill all that in. And 7 women chose tea. There is nothing else in the story. I've put as much as I can into my diagram. And now I start that process again of finding the missing ones. So this one is going to be 36 take away 21, which is 15. This one is going to be 21 take away 12, which is 9. And the last one is 15 take away 7, which is 8. So that was a fairly straightforward one to do. Work out the probability of a female chosen at random. So a female chosen at random, picked T is 7. So we've got 7 out of 36 as our probability there. Okay, so frequency trees can be given to us to complete in the way that I have done these questions, or they could have just turned around and given you absolutely nothing at all. And they wouldn't have eluded anything. So you wouldn't have got that bit there either. You would have literally been given some information and then been asked to work out the probability of something happening. Okay, could have been the percentage of something happening. But let's stick with probability. This is where we need to train ourselves, you know, get our brains working for application and not just for recognizing a question. There's nothing in that question that tells me how to structure the information, but that's what a frequency tree does. It takes a sort of jumbled up piece of information and it organizes it so that I can see all the information. I can work out all the missing bits and then I can answer my question. But I've got to know that a frequency tree is going to work with this type of question. So it's not just a case when you practice this of just filling in all the blanks and not really thinking about it. Really think about that question. All these questions have a very similar style to them. Okay, the story's coffee and tea. Up here, it was homework. Up here, it was going to the gym. But what's the same is you've been given some of the information about who did what homework or some of the information about who liked what tea. And they're your triggers. This is going to be a frequency tree organizing the data for me. Okay. All right. We also have two-way tables. They do the same thing. They organize data for us. They become a little bit more helpful when there's a bit more information to the story. So in this question, we've got students going to the gym, but they either do swim, yoga, or a spin class. So there's 3 things going on. Whereas in the last question we did, there was tea or coffee, just a couple of things. So as our categories kind of grow, sometimes our go-to, which is often our frequency tree, because they're just so simple to use, may not be working quite as well as we'd like. And if that's the case, then we're going to move over to an alternative method. And the two-way table is perfect. So we're going to practice our two-way table. If you feel confident to just go for this without any talk through, then please hit that pause button and then play when you're ready. However, I'm very happy to just go through this one first because I know that they can be just a little bit trickier. So let's get going. I've got 80 students that visit the gym. They either swim, do a yoga class or a spin class, and then I start given all this information. The first thing I need to do is kind of label up my two-way table so I know where to put everything. So I've got, they're either swimming, they are going to do a yoga class or a spin class. And I'm going to put a little P next to that so I don't get myself confused at any stage. This extra column is actually for my total. All right. I know there's a total of 80 students. Well, I need to put that somewhere. I also know that they're talking about girls and they're talking about boys. So these become a two-way table. So girls that do yoga, it's a bit like a times table grid, but with different labels and different story. This bottom row is a total row. So it doesn't matter now whether I'm adding up the girls and the boys to get my total or whether I'm adding up my categories to get my total. This grand total is always in the corner. And from the story, I know that's going to be 80, so I can put that straight in there. And because I've now got the two-way table set up ready to use, I can start putting in all the other information. So it says 32 students do a yoga class. So I know there's a 32 going in there. That's the total that do yoga. 13 of the 38 girls swim. So I've got 13 girls that are swimming, and I'm also told that there are 38 in total. So they would go into those positions. 10 of the 24 students that did a spin class. So I know 24 students did spin, and 10 of them were boys. If I keep reading on, it says boys. So 10 of them were boys. And that's all the information that has now gone into my diagram. So what I now need to do is work out those blanks, okay? If I'm going to complete the two-way table, that would be my next job. So again, I am going to be doing my 80, take away 38 for that missing one on the end of the totals. That's going to give me 42 going in there. Another one that I can do is this one here. I've got all the information apart from one. I can't actually work these out yet because I don't have enough information in any direction that's going to help me. So I haven't got much choice. I'm going to have to do this one next. So I've got 32 and 24. I would add those. So let's actually show the math. So I'm going to do 32 and 24. That's going to give me 56. And then I'm going to do 80, take away that 56. So borrow, 10 take 6 is 4, 7 take 4 is 2. So I've got 24 going in there. Once I've got that in place, I can get this one because I've got these two and I've just got the one that's missing. So 24, take away 13, 4 take 3 is 1, 2 take 1. We've got 11 going in there. I've now got enough information to find this one. 11 plus 10 is 21. I need a total of 42. So 42, take away that 21 is 21. So 21 is going in there. And again, I now have enough information to finish the whole diagram off. 21 plus something is 32. That is 11. And 10 plus something is 24. That's going to have to be 14. There we go. And that's my two-way table completed. So they are a bit harder than your tree, but they cope better when there's a bit more information going on. So it's important that we know how to do both. And then, of course, I can ask you probability questions. So I could say, what's the probability of us picking a girl that swims? And we would say 13 over 80. So 13 out of 80. Okay, so that's your two-way table. We've got another one for you to practice. So there it is. I've set the table up. Hopefully that will be helpful. So all I need you to do is read through really carefully and populate that table. And then we've got another one of those percentage questions. I'm doing it on purpose because we've seen it. Can you remember it? Can you remember how to do that? And then there's your classic probability question as well. Have a go at the entire question, and then when you're ready, we will do a walkthrough of how to answer it. Okay, so we've got 120 year 7 were asked their favourite subject. I can read through. 44 boys chose maths, 32 of the 58 girls chose English, 18 of the 26 students chose science. So I can see it's boys and girls, and it's maths, English, science. So maths, English, science, boys and girls. And of course, you may very well have put yours in a completely different kind of order. You might put the girls and the boys the other way around. That doesn't matter. As long as your numbers are coming out the same, then all is good. Obviously, I've got my totals, and now I can start populating. So there's 120 in total. 44 boys chose maths, so I can pop that in there straight away. 32 of the 58 girls chose English. So 32 chose English, and there are 58 altogether. What else have we got? 18 of the 26 students that chose science were boys. So we've got 18 boys choosing science. And there were 26 that chose science altogether. And I think that's all my information that I can get from the story into the table. And now it's the case of just finishing them off. And you can do, I can see there's two that we could do. We've got 2 pieces of information, so I could find that one. We've got 2 pieces of information, so I could find that one. Doesn't matter what order we do that in. I'm going to do the totals first. So 120 take away 58 means 62 is going in there. 18 plus something is 26. So that's 8. I'm going to do this one next. So I'm going to do 62, take away these 2 pieces that I know. And actually, it works out to be 0. 44 plus 18 is 62. So none of the boys like English. I think that's an unusual piece of data. Some boys must like English. Okay, I can finish off the girls. So add the 32 and the 8, take it off of the 58, and I get 18 going in here. And then I can add these up to get my totals. And then a really good check is if they add up to 120 and they add up to 120, I've done a good job and everything is right. Okay, what percentage chose maths? So let's take a little look at this. We've got a total of 62 students that chose maths out of a total of 120. So it's going to be 62 out of 120. That's my fraction. I need to times it by 100 to make it a percentage. And that gives me 51.666, and on it goes. So it really depends on how you rounded your answer. It doesn't say it in the question, it will in the exam. So it could be 51.7, it could be 52%, something along those lines. Okay, now work out the probability that a person chosen at random is a girl that likes science. So we've got our girl and science. Oops. There we go. We've got our girl in science meeting there. So that's 8 out of a total of 120. So that's my probability. If you got that right, brilliant. Really, really well done. So for this question, I am asking you to do it from scratch. So you have not been given the diagram at all. You need to read carefully through the information, set your structure up, and answer the probability. All right, hit play when you are ready. Okay, so I've got 180 students. They were asked if they have packed lunches or use the school canteen. 72 out of the 103 students in year 7 have packed lunch, and 42 use the canteen. All right, so we've got year 7 and year 8. So 180 students are asked if they have packed lunches or use the school canteen. 72 out of the 103 students in year 7 have packed lunch. Now, because this is a lunches and school sort of dinners question, there's really only 2 categories. So I'm kind of tempted to go straight for a frequency tree. So if you did this, brilliant idea. It doesn't tell you what to do. Just because we've been doing two-way tables doesn't mean you have to do a two-way table. So I'm going to do a frequency tree. So I've got 180. I know that 72 out of the 103 students in year 7 have packed lunch. So here's my year 7. They've just told me there's 103 of them. And they've told me also that the packed lunches are eaten by 72. So this would be my school dinners. This would be my year 8. And I'm going to keep it in the same order as packed lunch, school dinners, just so that I've really got that good structure going on. Okay, I've got enough information to work out my number of year 8s in the year. Okay, that is going to be 180 take away 103, which is 77. I've also got enough information here to work out how many year 7s had the school dinners. So that's 103 take away 72, which is 31. And then at this stage, I'm just getting myself a little bit lost, okay? So I'm going to go back and read the story, okay? 72 out of 103 students in year 7 have packed lunch. Well, I've definitely got all of that in there. 42 students use the canteen, so they have the school dinners. So that's the piece of information that I needed to go back and find, 42. I've got 31 of them here. So 42, take away 31 is 11. So in year 8, 11 are having school dinners. And I can now do my 77, take away 11, which is 66, to finish that off. I can then go on and answer the question. What is the probability a student chosen at random is in year 8 and uses the canteen? So year 8, using the canteen is 11. So I've got 11 out of 180. And you will get full marks for doing a tree. You will get full marks for doing a two-way table. So if you did the two-way table, you got those numbers in your two-way table and 11 over 180 as your answer, you got it 100% right. But I think really what I was trying to do there was demonstrate that when you are given a wordy problem, it's your choice. It's entirely up to you how you structure it and solve the problem. Okay. So you have some practice questions. Let's see, we probably need the whole page on display. There we go. Hopefully that is readable. That looks pretty good. Okay, so those are your questions. And then you are going to go on and mark. The answers are coming up. If you want to play around with this, then you could change up how you do it. The first question is set up to use a frequency table. You could do that and mark it, but equally you could try and see if you could put that information into a two-way table. So changing between the two and being really confident using both is really what we're trying to achieve in this session. Okay, the answers are going to come up and then I will see you next session for a huge consolidation. We've done a lot of work.